Hey everyone, welcome back. Today on the bench we're going to take a look at my latest eBay purchase. As you can see from the big letters written on the box, this is an audio oscillator, and it is made by Eico, the electronic instrument company. They used to be located in Long Island City, New York, and for many years they made lots of electronic test equipment. I have an Eico 377 audio generator, which is what this is in the box. This will be a second one. I also have an old Eico vacuum tube voltmeter that I did a little bit of restoration on. But this looked interesting because it said it was in really good condition. The pictures looked really nice, and so I figured, why not? It comes with the original box, which is kind of interesting. I mean, the box is a little beat up, but it is the original box. So let's take a look at what's inside. Inside we have the original manual, and there's some clippings here from magazine. Here's an ad for the generator. Here's another ad for it. If you notice, person has marked here, they've underlined wired, which means this came from the factory put together. For $64.95. I don't know what that is in today's money, but I'm going to guess it wasn't super cheap. So let's get this out of the box. And I'm going to set the box to the side here. And let's turn it around. And here it is. It is an Eico model 377. Has a serial number on it of A27556, and it is in pretty minty looking condition. There is not a scratch to be seen on the front of the front panel here. The cord is still flexible, in remarkably good shape. The entire case, I don't see any rust, nothing. It looks pretty good. I have to say, it's pretty impressive. Let me move it in a little bit closer here. Get a better look at it. Nice and clean. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take the screws out, take the case off it, and we'll have a look inside. Alright, so we've got the case off, and it is equally clean inside as it is outside. There's really no signs of rust, not much in terms of any kind of oxidation. If we take a look in here, we can see 2, 3, 4, we can see the 5 tubes, 2 can type capacitors. Here's the light bulb for the little power light, power transformer, choke. It looks really pretty nice. If we look on the back here, let me see if I can zoom in on this. We can see this says tested September 23rd, 1960 something. I'm not sure what. So vintage wise, we know it's from the 1960s, and signed by B, whoever B was. So this is definitely a factory assembled unit. Let's flip it over here. Take a look underneath. And it's very nice and neat and tidy. It's pretty impressive. If we look here, we can see we've got these are some electrolytic capacitors, These are some wax and paper capacitors. Surprisingly not looking very waxy leaky. I'm wondering if this maybe just did not get a lot of use. Looks very clean. The resistors all seem to be Allen Bradley style resistors. You can tell they have that very squared, flat ends on it. None of the rounded carbon composition. Here's another wax and paper capacitor. All these caps will be removed and replaced. I bought a recap kit for it that just has some good foil caps for things like this. These paper ones, new electrolytics for those, and to replace these can type capacitors that are in there as well. These are all precision resistors for the range selection, so those should be good. So I think I'm pretty safe in just replacing the capacitors. This, of course, this is the bulb for the Wien-Bridge oscillator. And even though the power cord's in good condition, relatively good condition, I'm going to put a new power cord on there, something that's will last a little bit longer. But yeah, it's pretty nice looking inside. I don't know. I think we could maybe try powering it up slowly. I haven't powered it up yet. So maybe we'll do that. Just see if it works in general, then do a recap afterwards. Alright, so I've got my new-ish Model 377 hooked up to my Variac and dim bulb limiter. I've got the output hooked up to my Siglent scope. Power is on. Let's just let's make sure that scope display is on. And let's start bringing the voltage up slowly here. So we're at about 24 volts. We're at 50. I can see the pilot lamp is lit. I'm at 80. And I can see the rectifier tube filament has got a glow in it. Let's go up a little more. Oh, there's some kind of life coming out of it. We're at 92 volts. Bulbs on the limiter are not even glowing. Bring it up a little more. And we're at 120. There was something on the display here. Let's do an auto set. Alright, it's doing something. It doesn't look real good. That's interesting. Alright, the cap is having some, so this is on the highest range. Let's re-auto set it. Okay, that is changing the frequency. So that's on range D, which goes from 20K up to 200K. Range C which goes from 200 to range C, which goes from 2K to 20K. Does not seem to be responding at all. Range B, same thing. Range A, same thing. But range D is doing something. All right, so the gain Looks like it's working. Let's see if I kick into square wave. Oh. Let's see here. Yeah. Alright, I mean, it's in range D, it's definitely oscillating. It's definitely responding to the variable cap. Alright, so I think the first order of business is to recap this and see how things look from there. And if they don't look any better from there, what I can do is I can swap the tubes with my good 377 that I have and see if that makes any difference. Alright, so first things first, do the recap, and we will come back and take a look after that's done. Alright, and we're back. So I've finished recapping everything in here. If we can see, I've replaced these caps have been replaced with film caps. We've replaced all the electrolytes. We're no longer using these canned electrolyte caps that are down here, but we've left them in place. The only other major change, well, not major, but the change I made was I replaced this resistor. This was a 10K 10 watt resistor. I felt like it was getting very hot. I went and I checked. Here's the old resistor. You see, I mean, it worked, but it felt like it was getting very hot, especially next to the bulb there. So I replaced it with a 20 watt resistor. I went in, checked resistances, looked for excessive leakage or whatnot. I didn't find anything. So I mean, it could just be that the resistor runs hot. This one is still hot, but not as bad as the other one. So I feel a little bit better about that. The only real problem I had after recapping things was I neglected to remove this tube here. This was a 6SJ7 tube. So I learned the hard way, don't solder with tubes into sockets. So I had to order a new tube to replace there, but I put that in and things seem to be working fine. I do have replacement tubes for everything that's in here. That's the only one that I replaced. All the other tubes seem to be working well. I tried them out in the other model 377 audio generator that I have, and I didn't see, swapping the tubes around, I didn't see anything better or worse with them, so I've left the original tubes that are in here, and I think that pretty much completes the quote-unquote restoration. Let me flip this over. I'm being careful because I do have it plugged in. I've been letting it run for a while now. But if we look, this is the only tube that I replaced. These tubes here, that's the power rectifier. This tube and this tube, these two work together for the Weinbridge oscillator. This is the wave shaper for generating the square waves. This is a 6SN7 tube, and this is the output driver tube. So these four tubes are the original tubes that were in there. Like I said, these two can capacitors we're just leaving them in place there, but they're not hooked up, they're not doing anything anymore. And that's about it. So I'm going to put it back in its case, and we'll hook it up to a scope and take a look at the output of it. All right, the 377 is back together, and I decided to hook it up to my Tech 2213 60 megahertz scope just to test it out here. So right now we're on band B, and it's putting out a 1 kilohertz sine wave. If we scroll through, or dial through, you can see that it's looking pretty good. Now if I go down to band A, this is down at around 20 hertz, 25, 30, 40. I'm going to kick this up a notch. So band A on this does the same thing that my other 377 does, which is it gets a little bouncy in a couple spots. One of them is here at around like 58 hertz, 60 hertz, somewhere around there. There's another spot here around 70, and does it a little bit through here. Here around 180. And then if I go to band B, it's pretty good. Band C, it's pretty rock solid. We're at 4K, 6, 15K, 20, and if I go to band D, I've measured this. This is like around 220K, somewhere around there, but it looks good. If we switch to square wave, on this says it's not good up around 60K, so we're going to drop back down one band. And it looks pretty good. You can, if we zoom in, you can see that it's got, that's interesting. It's got really bad rise time. Let me see, did I get more of it here? No. Oh, I'm looking at that end. Let's see, can I get, nope. But they're very sloped, and that's because it's squaring off the sine wave, so it's not a true square wave. But for audio work, it's really, it's you know, square enough. Switch that back. So it looks good. It's definitely in much better shape than it was when I got it. As far as I can tell, it's working the way it's supposed to. This, like I said, the stuff down on band A, I'm not sure don't know what that's about, but I do know that my other, like I said, my other 377 I have does the exact same thing. So I don't think it's, the unit. I think it's something with the design. But now that I've seen two of them doing this, I'm going to look into it a little bit more. And that's it for this Eico Model 377 audio generator. I had fun working on this, definitely learned a few things along the way, and it'll be a nice addition to my collection. Any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.